Welcome to the Sharon Reed Show, where we discuss news, lifestyle, culture through an unapologetically Black lens. I'm Sharon Reed. Today, we'll be discussing the real Fani Willis. Since Willis's office indicted the former president and 18 others on 41 charges related to trying to overturn his 2020 election defeat in Georgia, much is being reported about the Fulton County DA's character. And no surprise to anyone, the former president has gone on the attack with baseless claims referring to Willis as the, quote, racist DA from Atlanta, falsely claiming she had an affair with a gang member she once defended. Comedian Roy Wood Jr. recently spoke at the National Association of Black Journalists convention about the importance of the Black press and its responsibility to build on the long-standing legacy of reporting the news. I've walked that line many a day, straddled it too. We have to create ways to share our truths, tell our own stories. And with this in mind, if you really want insight into who Fani Willis is, just give me 15 minutes. 3 years ago, as a correspondent for the Atlanta Voice, I sat down with then Fulton County District Attorney candidate Willis. And since then, my opinion of her has evolved. The respect I had before morphed into admiration, even appreciation for what she's undertaken. She's putting her stamp on the way justice is metered out in Fulton County, Georgia. Upon reflection, there were things she said in that interview that revealed her true character and what motivates her as the prosecutor we're witnessing today. Fani is the first Black woman to hold the district attorney for Fulton County position. Fani is a proud HBCU graduate, Howard University. She's smart, tenacious, God-fearing, extremely thoughtful. She does nothing on the fly. And from time to time, her straight face gives way to sharp wit and a sense of humor. In recent times, with the indictment of 45, we've gotten a front row seat to exactly how she conducts herself. No nonsense woman who pays no attention to those who wrongly underestimate her abilities, experience, or fierce determination. At her core, Fani Willis is like so many Black women, devoted to the growth and well-being of her kids, concerned about the health and welfare of her community. Despite so many obstacles placed in her path, she is known to be hardworking and dedicated. Fani is a visionary and would be the first to tell you that in this pivotal moment in history, she's the right woman for the job. So let's start with one of her favorite tools on the job, her go-to statute, RICO. It's a tool Fani Willis has successfully used to prosecute wrongdoing. And listen to how she explained its use in the Atlanta Public Schools case. And see if you hear in her explanation why her use of RICO in the election case against defendant Trump is being called brilliant.
People really understand RICO. So when I say RICO to a layperson, they think my favorite book. They think The Godfather, right? They think The Godfather. They think that RICO is a mechanism used only for gangsters and mobsters. If people really understand what the racketeering charge is, it is most often used for corporations. And so the theory was that the Atlanta Public Schools was a corporation, and through the corporation, they did false documents and false statements. That's the way it's actually typically used, probably about 60% of the time. 40% is this kind of notion that we think of that's sexy, right? The gangsters is sexy. The corporation ain't sexy at all. And so it was a tool to charge them with the crimes that they committed, which were the false documents, the false statements.
I think we get it now. Her approach to the election case against Trump in Georgia, it's about telling a story, something I can relate to, so many journalists can, a beginning, middle, and end. And her view, the teachers, yes, teachers, and political figures are capable of operating like gangs who destroy the fabric of society. I've conducted hundreds of interviews throughout my career, from celebrities to politicians, business leaders. Fani Willis is the only interview subject who showed up early, arriving before me with receipts in hand, vision, and the discipline to make it a reality. It's a specific skill set she does possess. In a fierce runoff with her one-time boss, DA Paul Howard, she could have used the sit-down to grandstand or serve up ego, but that, not her style. And it never has been her motivation. She describes a higher calling on behalf of the people of Fulton County, Georgia.
This office is not about Fani Willis. This office is about the people of Fulton County. And the people of Fulton County deserve the very best. She's sitting here with you today. She is the person that is going to actually bring programs that instead of indicting thousands of black and brown young men, thousands of people in general, we're going to put them in programs and change their lives. Because you're sitting in front of someone that is actually going to deal with these repeat offenders. Because you're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference.
One cannot discount Fani Willis's experience, personal and professional. After telling me she wasn't necessarily looking to run for this powerful position, she seamlessly shifted to make sure everyone knew why she was uniquely qualified for it.
I am a great trial lawyer, and that's made me a great supervisor and a great trainer, because not only am I compassionate towards victims, I'm compassionate about those I teach. I've been compassionate towards defendants.
I briefly discussed Willis's sense of humor, very much a part of who she is. When coupled with her practice of talking to people, not at them or above their heads, she conveys trust, empathy, and understanding. She is cognizant of the importance of context and using relatable examples to empower and enlighten. But she's still a prosecutor. Accountability first.
I don't know, you're a little younger than me. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship and some things went wrong. But if you've been in a relationship and things went wrong, before you can get past what went wrong, it's got to be, oh, I'm sorry I did this. This is how we get past it. This is how we get through it. And I think we need that as a city. It's
accountability.
Like, you got to have accountability. Like, babe, I need you to say you're sorry, not you didn't do it. And so until we can get to I'm sorry, we can't get to fixing it.
Self-love and love of community play integral roles in Fani Willis's life, loving all people, part of her spiritual beliefs. But she is bold in her affirmation of Black love. In fact, she says expressing it is necessary.
If they criticize me for loving Black and brown children, I got an undying love for Black people, and I got an undying love for Black children.
Performing as a strong Black woman, the only option for so many of us. We can relate to that in Fani. Forced excellence. She better win in all areas, motherhood, career. It's about how we must present every day when we step out the door into instant judgment. Right now, so many in the mainstream press are either giving DA Willis props for that sweeping indictment or tearing her down. She's either doing their bidding or too uppity.
Let me tell you something. We don't always have DNA and video in a case. You have to have courage. What you're sitting with is a woman that has courage. I'm going to look at those cases, look at the facts, look at the evidence, and make a decision.
And to anyone who wants to refer to where Fani Willis is this moment in time as Black girl magic, don't. Not this time. It's not magic. It's a requirement. Forbidden to fail. Sound familiar? It's why so many of us have a real vested interest in this petite Madam DA in Georgia and what she'll do next. I hope we've provided you better insight into the real Fani Willis. We've stayed true to our time, just 15 minutes. I'm Sharon Reed. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, and you can always access the Sharon Reed Show right here or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us.
You know, in 1827, John Russwurm and Sam Cornish started the Freedom's Journal. And they started the Freedom's Journal with the premise that we wish to plead our own cause, for too long others have spoken for us. And for the last 198 years, the Black press has been that beacon of hope. Real Times Media, we wish to continue this 198-year legacy. In the spirit of Ida B. Wells or Marcus Garvey or Langston Hughes, we bring to you another truth teller, Miss Sharon Reed with the Sharon Reed Show. Sharon has integrity, she's witty, and she has an unapologetic love for Black people. We hope that you agree. Join us for future episodes of the Sharon Reed Show, and make sure you support the Black press.